Good morning students, I am Dr.R.Suganya, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science with Cybersecurity. Today we are going to see about the compiler prime on runtime program environment and how to organize a program. Outline: management of runtime resources, correspondence between static, that is compile time, and dynamic, which is runtime structures. Runtime resources. Execution of a program is initially under the control of operating system. When a program is invoked, the OS allocates space for the program. The code is loaded into the part of the space. The OS jumps to the entry point, that is main. Memory layout. Here we can see the memory layout, that is which has the highest address and the lowest address, which includes code, the other space. What is the other space here? It holds all data for the program. Other space equal to data space. The compiler is responsible for generating the code, orchestrating use of the data here. Assumptions about the execution. Execution is sequential. The control moves from one point in a program to another in a well-defined order. When a procedure is called, the control eventually returns to the point immediately after the call. Do these assumptions always hold? An invocation of procedure P is an activation of P. The lifetime of an activation of P is all the steps to execute P, including all the steps in procedures P calls. Assumption 2, that is activation trees, that when P calls Q, then Q returns before the P does. Lifetimes of procedure activations are properly nested. Activation lifetime can be depicted as a tree. Class main function, which has G function and F function, which returns 1 and G. So the void main function returns the G and F function. So the main function has G, F, and F again has G functions. So what is the activation tree for this example? So here in F function we have the functionality if x equal to 0, then it returns a G function, else it returns the F function. So the activation tree depends on the runtime behavior. The activation tree may be different for every program input. Since activations are properly nested, a stack can track currently active procedures. Class main function, which has G and F functions. It returns 1 G and also it returns 1. So the main and stack functions. So here we have the two functions. G and F also returns a G function. So it is tree-like functions, and it is revised memory layout as like the code which has the stack, the activation records, that is the information needed to manage one procedure activation, which is called as an activation record or frame. If procedure F calls G, then G's activation record contains a mix of information about F and G. F is suspended until G completes, at which point F resumes. G's AR contains an information needed to resume execution of F. G's AR also contain actual parameter. Space for G's return value. Pointer to the previous activation record. The control link points to AR of caller of G. F is suspended until G completes, at which point F resumes. G's AR contains information needed to resume execution of F. G's AR also contains actual parameter, space for G's return value, and pointer to the previous activation record. The control link points to AR of caller of G. Other temporary values, that is local variables. Here we have the program, the main function which returns G function which has integer, and F function which returns integer and have the parameter x. If x is equal to 0, then it returns again G function, else returns F function which is x minus 1, that is 2 stars, and void main function which has 3 stars, that is result, argument, return addresses, saved frame pointer. So here we have the process, that is stack after 2 calls to F. So main has no argument or local variable, and its results is never used. Its AR is uninteresting, or return addresses of invocations of F. The return addresses is where execution resumes after a procedure call finishes. This only one of many possible AR designs would also work for C, Pascal. The compiler must determine at compile time and the layout of activation records and generates a code that correctly accesses locations in the activation record. Thank you.